Tory event tonight.
I know.
It's the first for
I
you.
know.
Are you lurching back into the Tory fold?
The last Tory event I went to would be, you weren't born, in 1987 probably. Well, I was invited by somebody who thought, wouldn't it be great mischief if I turned up? And I'm quite looking forward to seeing some of the faces. I suspect the majority of people at this dinner will agree with a lot of what I say.
Nigel Farage is here tonight. He said to me that the last time he was at a Tory-affiliated event was back in sort of 1987 or something. What's that a sign of?
Nigel, he's a great champion of freedom and democracy. He was in my constituency a couple of weeks ago as well. But I think this is a sign of the fact that we want to stop Labour. We have to work together. We believe in the same values, basically: freedom, democracy, standing up for lower taxes. And in good news, I absolutely think everyone's going to hear much more about this tonight and also tomorrow and over the next few days. There are a lot of people here that I think have been quite disillusioned in the past, but we have to just move forward. And the prospect of a Labour government is something that will unite everyone. And of course, you know where I stand in terms of democracy in our party. I want actually the leadership of our party, and by that I mean CCHQ, to engage much more with our grassroots activists.
We all care very passionately about the Conservative Party, and really this is about getting a discussion about reform and how we can do things better and how we can actually help facilitate that. These are ideas that have been going for really decades in the Conservative Party, and yes, of course, people are very unhappy at the fact that we had two elected leaders and party members didn't get a say last time at all, but really we want to win the next general election. CDO's here, we want to make that happen as well.
Nile Gardiner, you obviously famously Margaret Thatcher's Aid, and there was some talk this week about Rishi needing to channel the spirit of Maggie. Has he done that, or is he inching towards it?
I think he's moving that direction, but he has to do a lot more.
What do you want to see?
I want to see tax cuts. I want to see Rishi rowing back from the ridiculous net zero.
If your old boss was with us today, how would she stop the boats?
I think she would use the Royal Navy actually to stop the boats and would ensure that not one single boat landed on British soil.
Under the present structure, the Conservative Party has become autocratic, dysfunctional, corrupt and anti-democratic, and in doing so, it has lost its identity and who it represents.
Lord Prudhoe, thank you for having us back.
Yes.
Back in May in Bournemouth, there was a kind of underbelly of bring back Boris kind of vibe. Has Rishi's announcements in the last couple of weeks changed anything?
Well, look, first thing I have to say, Ben, is we are not a Bring Back Boris campaign.
Yeah.
We're about democracy in the process of how we elect our leaders and ultimately the Prime Minister. And what we want to do is drive constitutional change in the Conservative Party to stop members being disenfranchised from the removal of sitting Prime Ministers. And we've seen two of them removed without members' intervention. In fact, today we have a leader who was rejected by members. Now, don't mind Rishi being the leader, providing he's been elected by the members. That's what we're all about.
So what changes do you want to see at a party level to ensure that doesn't happen again, that you don't have a Liz Truss situation where she's pretty much ousted in what some would call a coup? How do we stop that?
Well, we have to change the Conservative Party constitution to stop, vested interest people in Parliament, the parliamentarians, from circumventing the membership. And the only way to do that is, for example, having an elected chairman, having a constitutional change. And if you go onto our website, we set out our 7 pillars for change. And this is where we were before the William Hague changes 20 odd years ago.
Yeah.
So we want to go back to that. We want to empower members and we don't want them, disenfranchised from the process. It's about more democracy.